continue to find Thailand very important, very strategic, not only in terms of its own critical infrastructure, but also as a emerging hub for the broader, ASEAN region. So I think the first point is location, and second, we're really getting a lot of really interesting government initiatives out of Thailand, and we hope to do that hand in hand with supportive government policies to be able to build up a digital workforce for Thailand and its digital future. And we're quite excited to see, what will come out of, the journey ahead. And so there was a bit of a spillover from Singapore in terms of demand to Johor, and also, as American, also Chinese off-takers look at their site procurement across the globe. It was very, they saw the potential that not only Malaysia had to offer, but the broader Southeast Asia, the ASEAN region had to offer. And so in a way, we saw that demand really play out in Malaysia.
You're watching The Wave. I'm Franc Han Shih. High-tech companies are establishing data centers in the region, picking countries with high quality of infrastructure and stability of energy provision. Kevin Guan, Chief Investment Officer and Executive Vice President at Bridge Data Center, or BDC, will give me more insights about data center development in the region, and he joins us now.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Hi, Kevin. I think a very important strategy and, of course, the role of Thailand in terms of data center development. Why did Bridge Data Center choose Thailand as a key location, amid strong competition, as we can see, Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia? And what made Thailand stand out?
We've been a first mover in Southeast Asia. And so, we have lots of data centers in Malaysia. We have a data center in India now. We have been investing quite a bit in Thailand as well. And in terms of scale, we're already about 400 megawatts of capacity under operations. And to put that in context, the country of Singapore has about, last time I checked, about 800 megawatts in operation. So we're already sort of half the operating scale. In terms of why Thailand, we've actually been a one of the early investors in Thailand.
Yeah.
And our first site was a couple years ago in Bangkok. And we continue to find Thailand very important, very strategic, not only in terms of its own critical infrastructure, but also as a emerging hub for the broader, ASEAN region. So I think the first point is location, and second, we're really getting a lot of really interesting government initiatives out of Thailand, right? The Thailand 4.0 economic development plan has ambitions to, really transform Thailand. And there's been a lot of favorable policies that's been put in place to support data center operators in terms of approvals for the resources it takes to build in the country. And we're quite keen to work hand in hand with the government to allow Thailand to realize its full potential on a forward-looking basis.
Right. But actually, Kevin, I found out a lot of information on your website, and one of that struck me is about data centers in Malaysia, because you have a lot of campuses there already. Just quickly, just want to understand why Malaysia first, and right now we see the expansion to Thailand.
Yeah, so we were one of the earlier operators in Malaysia. Our first sites were in Kuala Lumpur. That was, 7, 8 years ago. And we were actually the first developer of a what we call a campus-style development, or a mega campus. At the time, it was really a lot of interesting themes, right? Singapore was really constrained in terms of its power, in terms of its availability of water, of resources. And so there was a bit of a spillover from Singapore in terms of demand to Johor, and also, as American, also Chinese off-takers look at their site procurement across the globe. It was very, they saw the potential that not only Malaysia had to offer, but the broader Southeast Asia, the ASEAN region had to offer. And so in a way, we saw that demand really play out in Malaysia. And now that demand is also in a big way coming to Thailand. as well, right? And
Right.
we see Thailand today as how we saw Malaysia, a
Mm,
couple years ago, and we think that Thailand could be a multi-gigawatt capacity country. And broadly speaking, we're seeing, the region
yeah.
going double or triple in size over the next couple of years.
Right. So it's kind of like a trend in Southeast Asia to really build up data centers. But of course, you have to pick as businesses very important location with stability in terms of water supply, energy provision, and the policy too. You just talk about the policy of Thailand's government. Can you list some beneficial policies for businesses to set up data center in Thailand? And what are the policy you want to see from the government?
Yeah, I probably can't comment too much on the specific policy, but I think the
Yeah.
overall ambition to position Thailand as a key player in the digital economy of the
Mm,
future. I think that intent and ambition is very fundamental to everything that we do. And having that ambition communicated clearly, it's a good first step. And second, I'd say in terms of approvals of power of water of the permits required to construct. I think that has been streamlined and it's sort of made doing business in Thailand a lot easier.
mm,
And that's been much appreciated. As we look forward, data center is not just about big dollars, not just about putting a lot of hardware and buildings in the ground, but it's also about training up the talent force to be able to locally design, to locally, build and locally, operate these data centers. In a way, as a pioneer in Malaysia, we're at the forefront of sort of, bringing know-how and training local talent. And we hope to do that hand in hand with supportive government policies
mm.
to be able to build up a digital workforce for Thailand and its digital future. And we're quite excited to see, what will come out of, the journey ahead.
Right. So skill talents, digital talents that we need to have to support the data center establishment in Thailand is very important too.
That's right.
One very quick question I want to ask you too, because some business leaders, they want future business leader or they want to invest in Thailand. One part that think is quite concerning is about the Foreign Business Act. I think you understand this part too, like 49% of the ownership in Thailand for foreigner and of course 51% for Thai. Is that obstructing at the beginning?
I think there's reasons why, a any particular government will have a certain set of rules, and we
Mm,
certainly respect what those limits and what those rules are,
yeah,
right? And in a way, we have been working quite creatively and flexibly together with the authorities and also with local partners. You might
right,
have seen the news that we have a pretty excited partnership announced as well, and so
right.
all goes to say, we're not only excited about investing in Thailand,
Mm.
working with Thailand to build its, talent force for the future, but also, working hand in hand with local businesses and local partners as well.
Right. You talk about local businesses and partners, and I just understand that you partner with one Thai company to support the water supply in Thailand to your data centers too. So how does that cooperation support sustainability and long-term operational stability there with the partnership?
Yeah, our first, well, not our first, but our second,
Mm,
campus in Chonburi. The first one was the Thailand in Bangkok. I alluded to. This Chonburi campus is large, 200 megawatts plus, and scalable beyond that as well, and requiring multiple billion dollars of US dollars of investment.
mm,
And and our role as a data center operator is to provide a stable and safe environment for our customers to put their equipment in our data centers. And so it's very important that we work with the best in class locally. This is Eastwater, this is Setcon, and we've established a venture where this would provide on Chambori campus with pretty stable and clean industrial water supply. And this is really important for the cooling and the long-term
yeah.
operational stability of our site, right? And
Mm,
we also see that this partnership can go beyond, other sites also working together to set and strengthen expertise and industry standards, and is also broadly aligned with our focus and our investments in renewables, in the region, where
Mm,
we've secured close to 2 gigawatts of energy through our partners, and are progressing towards our RE100 goal of achieving 100%
yeah.
renewable electricity by 2040. And we've also joined the Science-Based Targets Initiative to align our decarbonization plan, with
Mm.
1.5% pathway. So, what we do in Thailand with our partners on the waterfront is also broadly aligned with our ambitions on the sustainability front, region speaking, and also, also thinking beyond APAC as well.
Yeah, it'll be very exciting to see what happens. And of course, right now you already have Bangkok campus and Chonburi campus in the future. And if our team can read to go to see how that infrastructure and data center establishment in Thailand really help Thailand's economy, and of course, this specific infrastructure and sector too. So another part we have to talk about, of course, I think you already put it briefly, is climate resilient infrastructure that BDC, of course, support to establish data centers in Thailand. How is that climate resilient infrastructure to withstand extreme weather conditions? You talk about water supply, you talk about, of course, energy provision. We need very stable provision and water supply there. But what about climate change and climate resilience
Yeah.
infrastructure?
Yeah, climate change, unfortunately, is, a challenge for all of us, and unfortunately is a challenge for the broader humanity.
Yeah.
And our industry data center is getting a lot of attention in terms of how power hungry we have
Mm,
been. We've been sort of, been the biggest uptaker of electricity as a sector globally. I'd say, Bridge, we're very committed to continue to set the standards in terms of efficiency, right? We have full stack capability, so it goes from designing the most efficient data center, and what comes out of that efficiency in design and construction is that we have, as low as 1.2 PUE, which is market leading standard for, Southeast Asia, which is a pretty tropical climate. And so being more efficient with our power use, being also more efficient with our water use are, top priorities, and we hope to continue to set the industry benchmarks in terms of our efficiencies. But that said, we are also quite innovative and quite collaborative. To give you an example, the story I always likes to tell is, as you alluded to, we have big campuses in Johor in Malaysia,
mm,
and water there is also scarce. And so instead of, complaining to the government, hey, give us more water, what we've been able to do is work hand in hand with a municipal, and we've actually built a wastewater treatment facility on our
yeah.
campus. So we're actually drawing wastewater from the grid, using that, and we're also generating clean water for the broader community. And because we have these full stack capabilities and
Mm,
the engineering know-how, we're able to come up with pretty innovative, solutions to resolve local constraints. But furthermore, we're also thinking more broadly, right? We've signed an MOU with Pacific Light Power to source power from a hydrogen-ready natural gas plant on Jurong Island in Singapore. You might have seen some news announcements around that, and we expect to start operations by 2029. And this facility aims to incorporate at least 30% hydrogen fuel, right?
mm.
And so, we're also working with the Singapore, government to transition to a cleaner energy source, not only for data center operations, but also, broadly speaking, other industry use as well. And we're hoping to, as we build out our presence in Thailand, to do similar and even better things in the years ahead.
Right, it's a cooperation with local government, and of course, give it back to the society is the key. One part I have to ask very quickly, as you may see some news stories about flooding. Of course, this is not the data centers spec, but in Thailand, we face flooding constantly, especially in this season. Would that be a obstacle for you to see, and how to manage that if
Yeah.
yeah, if that happens?
Before we go into any geography or any location, we're very
Mm,
prudent in what we call site selection and
yeah.
resource planning, right? And so we've sort of done, the best job we can finding a site that is, relatively more secure against hazard risks. But in addition to that, we've also put in other mitigants at the site level, whether
Yeah.
it's sort of raising elevation selectively or, waterproofing certain critical infrastructure, right?
Mm.
And we've built in multiple layers of redundancies. And our practice to not only, meet the baseline expectations of, hazard risk mitigant by our customers, but
Yeah.
also to go beyond that. And we acknowledge that this could be a concern for where we operate, and we've certainly more than put enough buffers and mitigants to address in the event of the 1% scenario happening.
Right, thank you. And before we end this interview, we have to get your insights about strategies in 5 to 10 years, the midterm strategy here, because we understand that right now in Thailand, of course, Malaysia, Singapore, and also you have data center plan in India too. What's your envision of the data center establishment in 5 and 10 years?
Yeah, I could do another 20-minute interview just on this one topic.
Very quickly.
But look, it's something I'm very excited to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Coming from Bain Capital as a global investor base in the US with, I think now over 20 billion of assets in the data center space. We've got land in the US, we've got, an operating platform in Europe, and then, Bridge is, Bain Capital's, only data center platform investment in Asia. Is a global perspective, but yet, if you look at Bridge, we differentiate on our what we call global, capabilities, right? So that global perspective and fitting in a global family of Bain Capital Investments. But when we operate, it's at the Malaysia and Thailand and India local levels where we've been quite adept at adapting to local constraints and local opportunities. What we're also seeing is this industry is increasingly becoming of scale, right? It used to be 5 megawatts here and there or 20 megawatts here and there. The demand signals we're getting this year are 50, 100 plus, right? And as we look at Southeast Asia, we think it could be multiple gigawatt of demand in the coming years. And the demand is for, guys that can deliver that scale. And so, what we have been able to do in Malaysia and now Thailand is to deliver, hundreds of megawatt type of campuses. And that fits really well with what, the off-takers are looking for. And, our ambition is to remain that incumbent, that leader in our what we call our core home markets, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, India. But we do also have ambitions to expand, beyond, right? We're looking
Right.
at sites in Japan and Australia and in Korea as an example. But similar to Thailand, we'll also go to those geographies with local partners on the ground. But the value proposition to our customer remains the same, which is which is delivering them certainty at scale, right? Given that already have so much that's operational, and we have this sort of proven track record, and that funding source is pretty secure from Bain Capital, and we're essentially off to the races. And yes, I think Southeast Asia will get 5, 6 gigawatts of demand in the coming
Yeah.
years. We have ambitions to get 20, 30, if not more percent of that. And then we'll also go beyond so we can be a multiple gigawatt platform in the 5, 10 year horizon.
Right. Exciting period ahead. And it would be great if I could visit your campuses in Thailand one day. And when you come to Thailand, please let me know. Thank you for your time, Kevin.
Looking forward to having you visit us.
Right.
Thank you for your
Kevin Guan, Chief Investment Officer and Executive Vice President at Bridge Data Center. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
More news to come.